So here's a lesson on beats. What we want to do is we want to cover a few things. The first one of them is going to be beats. So the idea is that you have two sound sources and they produce a frequency that is very similar. Not exactly the same, but it is very similar. So there is a sound source here. Maybe this is S1 for the source. And this produces a certain specific frequency. Now maybe this is 400 hertz. And then you have a second frequency, and that second frequency, so there's another source, two speakers, you could have two speakers. And the second one produces a very similar frequency, but it's got to be a little off. So if this one was also 400 hertz, then what you would hear as a result the resultant or the sum of these two, what you would hear is the, I'm going to put here some, these waves would just add up. And so you would end up hearing something double, twice that. Right? So you'd have the intensity, the loudness would go up. So you'd have here a bigger amplitude is what you would have. If the two frequencies were exactly the same, then this simply adds up to that. But if the frequencies are a little off, so that maybe this is 405 and that one is 400. So the two frequencies are a little off. What's going to happen is that perhaps in the beginning, the two peaks would overlap, and so they would add up to each other. So in the beginning, you would have a pretty big amplitude. And then these two peaks would also add up because they're still kind of close. But if you keep moving, eventually you're going to find a place where the two are actually opposite. So if this is a little off, and you were to extend that one, so this is a 400 here, and this one keeps running at 400, but this one is a little off. This one is at 405. So this is 405. And you keep running this thing, then you're going to eventually run into a place where, let's see if we can actually get it. So you keep going, and there we go. I was a little off, a little off, and here we go. Two that oppose themselves. So you're going to get cancellation. This is going to be cancellation. So you're going to end up with some maximum in the beginning. So there's going to be a maximum piece here, and there's going to be minimum here. There's going to be nothing. And then symmetrically, you would follow through, and you would end up with another maximum somewhere over here. So, excuse me, what you would get is the sum of these two would give you the effect of, I'll just show it like this here. Single wave like that. Now, if this is 400, this is 405, then this one would actually be 5. This would be the frequency of the beat, and that would be frequency of the beat, which really would just be the frequency of this wave. So the frequency of this wave here would end up being the difference between the two. So this is 405 and this is 400, and this one here is the difference between the two, 405 minus 400, so 5 hertz. Now, the reason why we call it the frequency of the beat is because when you actually observe it, it feels like a beat. Like there's something pounding in the background at a perceptible rate. Right. So if you have two sources, they're slightly off at their frequencies, you're going to end up with a perceptible beat. Now, if they're quite a bit apart in their frequencies, the effect is going to be the same. It's just that then you're going to get a frequency that you may or may not be able to pick up. But if they're just a little off, then you will get a frequency that you actually can pick up. And 5 hertz, that's like 5 times per second. Sure. You should be able to pick that up, right? Or if your frequency comes out to be, if the frequency difference is 2 hertz, then you would hear that's something you can pick up. Now, if the frequency difference was, let's say, 100 hertz, I'm not sure you'd be able to perceive that. So let me show you this with a demonstration. What I have here is two sound sources. Here's a tuning fork, here's a tuning fork. Now this tuning fork oscillates at 256 hertz. So this one oscillates at 256 hertz. This one also oscillates at 256 hertz. They're the same. So these are two same tuning forks. If I hit this one, it gives me a specific vibration. If I hit this one, it gives me the same vibration. So this is at 256, this is at 256, right? Now I'm going to alter the structure of this by attaching a mask to this one. What this will do is it's going to cause this tuning fork to oscillate at a different frequency than that, but the difference is going to be small. So if this is 256, then this might now be at I don't know, maybe it's going to be at 250. And then there's going to be a difference in frequency, and we may be able to pick up that beat in the background. If you were in a class, you would be able to pick this up without much of an issue. I think this will work on Zoom. So I heard a distinct difference there. I don't know if you did. I'm going to see if I can change this and see if we can pick this up a little better. Do it again. Yeah, I did hear that. Let's see if I can bring this a little lower. I think if I bring this lower, I'm going to lower the frequency of the beat. And also, see if I can stick this here. Oh, that was a good one. I think you should be able to hear that. So the frequency of the beat was like. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's that. That was a little topic there, the frequency of beats. This concept may show up on your exam, so make sure you're aware of it, because that's all there is. And you want to calculate the frequency of the beat, then you just find the difference between the two frequencies. So maybe if I label this as F1 and this as F2, what I can do is I can define the frequency of the beat as simply the difference between the two. So F1 minus F2, whichever is bigger. You would just subtract from the bigger the smaller value. Okay, now let's move on to fluids. So I'm not going to do standing waves. Normally we would have done standing waves, but I won't do them. I'm not going to do them now. We may have the time to still cover them before the end of the semester, but we'll skip over them. And instead, we're going to move into unit on fluids. So I'm going to pause this video, and that will do, and then I'll get back with fluids.